No idea what you were trying to say, but thanks very much anyway, Keith. I am going to speak to James Hayden now, who, James, it's very rude, aren't we? Scott Smart and yourself both won races here, quite ironic. What's your game plan today?
Yeah, just get a good start. It's very hard to pass here, but my Rizzo Suzuki's working well, so fingers crossed.
That's the problem at this track, it's very tight, there aren't many opportunities to pass. 8th from the grid, where can you get to?
Well, hopefully I'll get a good launch and bypass this road. That's the plan. And then just try and stay steady, just try and get in a groove, and I can normally pass, so we'll see.
Now things have gone your way, you've got a full-time contract. Does that change the way you ride at all, do you think, long-term, or did you just go on and get on with it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's just lovely, just so I can focus now. I know I'm with the Rizzo Suzuki team for the rest of the year, so, I can just concentrate on my job and concentrate on getting the bike better and better. And, this is just the tip of the iceberg, so watch this space.
And what about the setup of the bike? Is it getting to your liking?
Good. The guys have worked, it's hats off to the whole of the team, because the guys have worked really hard this weekend, and we've really focused our development, and I'm getting really happy on it now.
Best of luck. Thanks very much, James. Now we've got Rob Matt, because another story is that obviously Sean Emmett, like at Croft, isn't racing here. Rob, what's the situation with your riders?
Well, Sean's a lot worse than what we thought, and he had an operation on his elbow, and he's going to be out now until Silverstone. The next race is Snetterton, then we've got a big gap to give him a chance to get fit. So we're just sort of treading water till then, trying to get the guy back.
You brought in another rider for this weekend. What's the situation there?
That was another backfire. Good idea, Rob. A young guy from Australia has been trying to get a test with us for the last 2 years, and nothing really to lose here, and invited him over, come and have a test. And rainy Knockhill, first test went off and ran wide and put his shoulder out of joint, so he's really struggling. So I don't think it'd do him any good if he tries to do 30 laps. So another plan foiled.
I understand why they don't call you Mr. Lucky.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Rob. Let's go and speak to JR, because this is by far the best he's done so far. What does it mean to you to get on the front row of the grid after the year you've had?
Well, it just really means we've turned a corner, Lee, to be quite honest with you. There is the Suzuki does deserve to be on the front row of the grid, that's for sure. I've not been doing it justice all year, but hopefully we can turn something around now.
And what about full fitness? How far off that are you?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I can string a few laps together, but you're right to say I've been training hard, but actually bike fitness we've not really done too much of, so we'll see what happens, eh?
Thanks very much. Let's move on, speak to Johnny Ray. Last year he had a horrendous accident here in the Supersport. He was told he may never ride again. Obviously, that's not the case. 3rd on the grid. Let's see how he's feeling. Can I just jump in? How are you feeling? It's amazing what difference a year can make.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good. Everything's came together, the Dunlop tyres and the white power suspension's working awesome on the Honda, so the package is phenomenal and I can just fit in nicely.
What have you learned over the past few rounds? You've been up at the front, but it has been a learning curve. What have you learned?
Yeah, I've learned how to ride fast. It's just trying to race fast and race with these guys, and I'm learning so much from spending laps with them, so hopefully I can learn a bit more here.
Thanks very much for the more. Let's speak to Michael Rutter. He had an off yesterday. See how he's feeling. Michael, you had an off yesterday. Any aches or pains?
A bit here and there, but no, I'm all right, really. Just looking forward to this race, and go try and get way first and get that first corner and see what we can do.
Okay, thanks very much, Michael. Well, it's a fantastic day here. The sun is shining. The crowds have packed into Knockhill, as they always do here. I couldn't believe it when I said it.
Under orders they come then for race 1 today here under the sun in Scotland. Jonathan Ray gets a good start on the inside, but it's a 2H plant. Honda's absolutely fly off the line. Who's going to be first? Kianari from Michael Rutter, and Kawasaki round the outside. Superb stuff there.
James Hayden made a good start from the second row into.
Well, I was just wondering whether it was Dean Thomas that managed to get that shot right away through to 3rd place on the Kawasaki. We'll have to wait and see as they come up and over the John R. Weir chicane.
Kianari in lead though, his teammate Michael Rutter right behind him.
Superb start from Kianari. I'm trying to work out if that's Dean Thomas for sure. Dean Thomas has come through. That's Glenn Richards on the other Kawasaki a bit further back. So the Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas in 3rd place at the moment. But already the Hondas, as they come down to the hairpin for the first time, very, very short laps here, of course. Only something like 49 seconds in qualifying. So you can expect 50-51s in actual racing trim. But look already, Kianari blasting that Honda up the hill. The fireplace just grunting up there as we come now to the Seat curve. Indeed, Seat curve, and dropping down the Scotsman.
Yeah, Kianari away in front here. I think the only chance anyone will have of beating Kianari this weekend if they can scrap with him, if they can get with him and scrap with him, because he's been very impressive. Pretty much every single practice session he's been on the top, I think with the exception of one when Jonathan Ray topped the sheet. But Ryuichi Kianari really has got this Knockhill circuit sorted out, and these Michelin tyres certainly have the advantage on grip.
Well, they've been dominant through qualifying, but really...
Just as well it's not Indianapolis.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for that reminder. Dean Thomas goes through in 3rd place, and JR now picking up the pieces as well. JR in 5th place. I think he's just weaving past.
I think.
It is James Hayden. You're right, James Hayden indeed. Wiggling his way up past Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray slips back a couple of places. Leon Haslam's behind James Hayden in your picture there. James Hayden goes through. Then it's Leon Haslam, and that looks like Laverty. It is Michael Laverty behind Johnny Ray on bike 65. 65 is Johnny Ray. 33 there is Laverty, and that is the Spaniard, of course, of Gregorio Lavia, the sensation.
Watch that man, because he's learning tracks as they go. He's always on race day, he's still learning the circuit, and he's come from the 3rd row before and finished on the rostrum, so anything's possible when Gregorio Lavia's out there. But James Hayden's made a bit of a break there. It was really hectic there for 4th, 5th and 6th places with Leon Haslam, Jonathan Ray on the Honda there.
49.8 was Kianari's last lap. That's a superb time from him. There's a bit of shenanigans going on down at the at the hairpin.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Ray, got sideways there going into the hairpin, and Michael Laverty was down the outside and had to move over to get out of the way of his rear wheel.
We're looking at James Hayden on bike number 18. Behind him, 91 is Leon Haslam. Then it's 65, Johnny Ray. Then it's 35, Gregorio Lavia. Then 33, Michael Laverty, followed by 75, Glenn Richards. Oh,
James
down
Hayden
goes
down.
Hayden down.
Unfortunately, James Hayden making brilliant progress there, making runners into Dean Thomas down there.
That Seat curve is a very difficult curve to make right as well.
I think it was actually at the Scotsman corner, which was formerly McIntyre's, he went down at.
The second part of that series.
Yeah.
So, at the hairpin, that's Dean Thomas. Dean Thomas on bike number 12, the Hawk Kawasaki, chasing who's
Someone
down
down
there
the
as well.
hairpin
Yeah.
there.
Well, that must have been the last lap, so that would have been somebody off our leaderboard. Kianari and Rutter go through, 6 and 2. Then it's 12, Thomas. Followed by 91 Haslam, 65 Ray, 30... Yeah, Lavia, I think. 36 Lavia, then 33 Laverty, 75 Richards. Carl Harris is still there in 9th place. John Reynolds on the number 1 bike is in 10th place at the moment. He really is just fight rusty, isn't he, John Reynolds? He can put in quick qualifying times, but it's a different manner when you've got people all around you fighting for that last yard.
Yeah, it's step by step for John Reynolds. He's made his way onto the front row this weekend, getting time on the bike. We're hoping to get some more testing in between now and Snetterton. We've got Tuesday at Crofton and hopefully one more test after that, but it really is a step-by-step process for John Reynolds. Then he'll be back to full strength, I'm sure.
Ryuichi Kianari comes up the hill again on lap 5 of the 30 on the HM plant.
He's not losing Rutter.
No, Rutter had his fastest personal lap on that last lap, so Rutter actually had a quicker timing than by a 1/10 of a second over Ryuichi Kianari. And I think that, for me, marks the maturity of Michael Rutter. He doesn't try to win a race in one lap.
He's a thinking rider, very smooth, very calculating, and he's got the pace. He just needs to stay with him. Beating Kianari is a different story, but if he can at least hang on to him, who knows what can happen. We know Kianari can make mistakes. He's made mistakes in the past, so Michael Rutter just needs to sit there.
Michael Rutter needs to start beating Kianari if he's going to win this Bennett's British Superbike Championship this year, that's for sure.
Incidentally, lap record has already gone to Kianari, 49.833. That's 2/10 of a second off the previous lap record.
So round 7 is battling away here, and it is still in 3rd place, Dean Thomas. But look at Leon Haslam. Leon Haslam right on the white line. Haslam looking for a way by at Seat. And gets it. Great move.
Fantastic pass.
Not
Leon
an easy corner.
Not for long.
Dean Thomas, wonderful manoeuvre, was having none of that.
Yeah, it was a good pass. Leon came from a long way back there, but he's just slightly offline going through the seat curves, and Dean Thomas was able to get it back. Is this the race where Dean Thomas finally puts that Kawasaki on the rostrum? Well, lots of good qualifying this year.
Is this the place where Jonathan Ray does something similar as well? The 18-year-old is still right there in 5th place at the moment. Bike 65, the Red Bull rookie. Hard to believe. Lee touched on it down on the grid when she was walking the grid a little earlier on.
Here comes Leon.
Last year, you might have expected Jonathan Ray not to be here, let alone on a Superbike doing this good. Leon Haslam goes through the hairpin. Another good manoeuvre, this time with the grunt of the Duke up the hill. Will he be able to keep it stuck?
Leon Haslam's still a young rider, still only 21, got a wealth of experience. He's got to be in everyone's shopping list for next year.
Still only on lap 8 of 30, but they are cracking on here at the moment. There's the Scotsman corner.
Mind you, his teammate, look at his teammate.
It's closing in, as usual.
As usual, sussing things out as he goes. Number 36, Gregorio Levia, 6th place at the moment. You wouldn't put it past him to get in the rostrum.
Well, look at Croft. He was on the 4th row. He started from the 4th row. And as the back marker moves out of the way, James Buckingham, I can tell you, is the fastest privateer in the Superbike Cup. Unbelievable.
Well, do you know, that was by default there. Levia had to go the long way around through Hislops there, and it's really bumpy. He ended up all out of shape on the brakes, had to let the brakes off, go past Dean Thomas, but unfortunately he was a little bit wide, but he still managed to get past Jonathan Ray.
12 is Dean Thomas, 65 Jonathan Ray comes back at 36, Gregorio Levia followed by 33 Michael Laverty. These four are absolutely at it. Still off the front, Chianari on bike 6, 2 Rutter behind him. Then it's 91 Haslam, then it's this gaggle.
Hectic racing here at Knockhill. Leon Haslam still maintaining that 3rd place there, pulling away a little bit from Dean Thomas, but Dean Thomas is under pressure from Jonathan Ray and Gregorio Levia.
Up through Clark Curve and onto Hislops, and then down into the Real Radio hairpin.
Oh, Jonathan Ray
He's good on the brakes.
That Fireblade Honda sideways there.
He's confident, isn't he? He does like the way that thing rides.
This is his best ride. He's been just building up since Mandelov, where he qualified pole, and he's just learning. He has no experience. There is no reason why he can run at front, but he's just gaining experience every single weekend.
He was quick at Croft in qualifying, but as yet, I tell you what, he runs down the hill. Look at that, unbelievable. Mackenzie just fell off his chair.
There wasn't a space there. There wasn't a space there at Scotsman corner.
Unbelievable. So Johnny Ray has just taken Dean Thomas.
I thought I was seeing things. That wasn't possible.
Well, we're going to see it again, I'm sure.
I'm sure Dean Thomas
will have something to say. Let's take another look at that.
Goes, underneath, barge past, hit Dean Thomas right on square on the shoulder.
But the front end of that bike was all over the place. Johnny Ray's bike, it really was on the move. I don't know how he held the front end of it.
Dean Thomas lost 3 places there and he did nothing wrong.
He's just been Johnny Rayed. I'll tell you what, that'll make Levia think twice.
Yeah.
Still Chianari, still Rutter, still Haslam. Johnny Ray, down he goes.
Dean Thomas has got to be thinking justice has been done there at the same corner. Really unfortunate for Jonathan Ray.
So Jonathan Ray slips off of the Red Bull rookie bike, but every time we see that kid ride, well,
gets better.
It gets better.
I think he used Dean Thomas as a berm the lap before, or that might have happened as well. But yeah, unfortunate for Jonathan Ray. Into the right-hander here, pushing the front end of that bike. That corner is actually a little bit off camber going in, so easy to tuck the front there. Unfortunately, Jonathan Ray on the limit and just pushed in there, but perfectly okay, and he'll be back out in the 2nd race.
Number 22 also is a faller, Michael Pensavale, on the MP Racing Kawasaki, but he's perfectly okay.
Meanwhile, Gregorio Levia got a clear track between himself and his teammate Leon Haslam.
Yeah, you say that, but Michael Laverty has been right with him. He's followed his wheel tracks all the way through his progress. And Gregorio Levia can't leave the Eddie Stobart Honda behind.
Well, Michael Laverty had a brilliant ride at Mandela, finishing 4th place, and backed that up with another strong ride at Croft.
Laverty, bike 33, through the left-hander of Hislops onto the Real Radio hairpin. That is Haslam in 3rd place.
Chianari's got a 2.8 second gap at the front now, edging away from Michael Rutter. Set another lap record on lap 6, 49.787.
And we're not even half distance yet. John Reynolds is up to 7th place at the moment, behind Glenn Richards. Dean Thomas has slipped behind him as well in 8th place. Carl Harris is 9th still.
John Reynolds is matching any of the Dunlop shod bikes as far as lap time goes. Last lap there was a 50.831. Laverty did 50.9, Gregorio Levia 50.7, and Leon Haslam 50.9.
James Buckingham on the Key Garage Suzuki is still the best of the privateers in the Superbike Cup class. Got to say, that young man has ridden really, really well over the last few months.
Gregorio edging himself closer to teammate Leon Haslam.
As he does. I think Leon Haslam has got the same problem with Gregorio Lavia that Michael Runner has got with Chianari. Perhaps not quite so pronounced, but still one of the annoying thorn in the side situations that if your teammate keeps beating you.
Yeah, Gregorio, well, certainly on Superbikes has got a lot more experience than Leon, and certainly a more mature rider or an older rider, been around a bit longer, but still doing a fantastic job this year in British Superbikes.
Haslam making the rear end of that Airwaves Ducati work hard, but Gregorio Lavia again looking at the inside, too far back on that particular occasion. Want to line up this hairpin perfectly, get on the gas as early as he can.
John Reynolds at the back of that bunch there on the Rizla Suzuki, he's not being dropped off either.
Dennis Hobbs on the team NVIDIA Yamaha is in pit lane.
So we look a bit further down the field at the Vivaldi Kawasaki's got Scott Smart there in 13th, Ben Wilson in 15th and Tristan Palmer in 17th.
Well, Scott Smart looking for points. First time out in the Vivaldi Kawasaki. Don't expect a lot this week out. They've only just managed to build him a couple of bikes for this week. I think we're going to see a lot more, possibly the next round.
I don't think there's any doubt Scott Smart is in the development phase with them, and as he said, if he can get a top 10 finish this weekend, that'll be job done. Some good information, some good feedback, and take it to the next one at Snetterton.
Chianari now with a 4.1 second lead. That's Colin Wright on your left, team manager of the Airwaves Ducati boys. And here they are in 3rd and 4th places, still being chased by the Eddie Stobone Honda of Michael Lavity, who's still being chased by the improving 75 Glenn Richards, followed by the number 1 John Reynolds.
Lavia looking threatening. Lavia always seems to have a safety margin. He can push a bit harder, get into trouble, and it doesn't really cost him any time.
Rutter back to Haslam, 2nd to 3rd, 10.6 seconds. Just goes to show you how dominant the HM Plant Hondas are this weekend.
They are dominating.
Whoa! Lavity backing it in.
Yeah, Lavity hasn't given up the fight for the rostrum either.
Paul Byrne. Jeremy McWilliams here as well, still supporting the team. Paul Byrne, team owner. Brother Mark has flown in as well for today's racing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any plan to put Jeremy back on a bike, certainly in the near future.
We have to say Michael Lavity is pretty much doing the business for them. Gary Mason, I thought, would be a bit of a front runner on the Honda this year, but it's really been Michael Lavity who's slowly but surely getting to grips with that big Fireblade.
Well, Gary Mason, quite a few years' experience on the Superbike. Michael Lavity, it's his first year this year on a Fireblade Honda Superbike. Last year, of course, on Supersport with the Monster Mob team, but doing a good job there and adapting well to that Fireblade.
Out of the hairpin, uphill. That's quite a steep old hill as well. Those bikes really have to grunt from that bottom gear hairpin up to the Seat curve.
Yeah, it's 165 miles an hour straight over the top there. Some bikes using 6, some bikes only using 50. Ducatis would be using 5-speed gearbox around here.
It's funny, I was looking at the speed trap times, and the circuit actually gives us 137 miles an hour, they reckon, but I think they must have it in the wrong place.
Depends, yeah, depends where the speed trap figures are, but certainly on our logging, the bikes are close to 160.
I believe your logs.
Our speedos say 160.
Still Leon Haslam in front of his teammate, but for how long? And where will Michael Lavity and Glenn Richards go behind them?
This is perfect for John Reynolds, actually, just getting time on the bike, getting up to speed, getting his fitness back. Not in any danger. What he was worried about in earlier races was just getting into trouble, riding with riders further down the field that he wasn't used to, and maybe having to react and re-injuring his leg. But at the moment, this is just the perfect scenario for John Reynolds to help his fitness.
It is a tough little track though, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is very physical. You get no rest around here. You're hanging on even in the straights uphill, and as you mentioned, bikes grunt out of there. You're hanging on tight. You're having to short shift to keep the front end of the bike down, and you hardly get time to grab a breath before turn 1 to see it curves, and then it all starts all over again.
through his lots and onto the bumpy, I suppose you call it back straight, but it's hardly that because you don't stand up very straight.
There goes Levia looking down the inside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Haslam made him work for it, didn't he?
He did.
Haslam though may have a better drive up the hill. We'll wait and find out.
Gregorio edging off to the right-hand side of the track there.
He does that every lap though, so I don't think he did it vindictively, let's put it that way.
Well, you know, the shortest distance between the last corner and the first corner is actually across to the right and then under the bridge. If you look at an aerial shot from the track, the straight is actually a big long curve, so diagonally across actually works much better.
Kieran Clark has fallen. Butchers on the Hydrex Honda, but he's perfectly okay. Kianari Rutter, look at the difference, 6 seconds dead now between Kianari and Rutter, and then 17 behind Kianari is Levia. John Reynolds not without a chance of picking up a few places. He's certainly
Michael Laverty.
Laverty taking a good lunge at that.
He's certainly threatening into hairpin. He's good in there. You can see that Fireblade Honda working good. Clutch, slipper clutch working really well. He's really confident on the brakes and he's not afraid to back it in a little bit.
Here he comes. Up the inside goes Michael Laverty at Seat. Good move. He threatened it for a while. He's obviously seen Gregorio Levia get by and he's not prepared to let him get too far away. The Eddie Stobbart bike is looking very good here at Knockhill.
Michael Laverty has a lovely riding style, nice tidy riding style, always neat, worked really well on the Supersport on the 749 Ducati, and he's adapted equally well to the Stobbart Honda.
Took the team a little while to get themselves sorted out, but now everything on track. Actually, there's a bit of news as far as that's concerned. Mr. Bean, Mark Richardson, got married and he's expecting a baby as well. So Mark Richardson, one of the team members, and the rest of the team are right miffed about it because he never told them about it. They call him a tight so-and-so.
JR gained the place on Ridley Suzuki, managed to out-drag Dean Thomas, who is
fighting back.
Glenn Richards out-braked him into seat curves.
I think JR, like you've already said, he's just feeling his way, isn't he? He's just getting back into the competition proper.
He's not ready to exchange paint yet, but he's happy to follow and just have a look.
And he couldn't have a better bloke to fight with than Glenn Richards, because Glenn Richards really is. He's a stylish, smooth and safe rider. So 75 Glenn Richards there in front of John Reynolds on the #1 bike.
He certainly is, yeah. Very good rider, very experienced rider, and although quite radical, doesn't mind reversing bikes and getting things sideways, but he is a safe rider to ride with. Look at Michael Laverty.
Yeah, Laverty having a real look in there again. He's right. He's become very, very racy indeed. He's bridged that gap after he passed Haslam. He's bridged the gap up to Gregorio Levia. Laverty is looking at a podium here. Lots of aggro coming their way though.
Nice pass. Back markers up ahead. That looks like Nick Med there on the Kawasaki. He needs to pass him here.
Yep, he certainly has. I'll tell you what, Laverty made that look so easy and a part of the track that it just isn't.
He's riding well on the rostrum at the moment. Looks like Malcolm Ashley there, is it?
21 is Malcolm Ashley on the MAR Kawasaki.
And he's just got him in the right spot coming into what is now, is that Clark? Still Clark. That corner hasn't been renamed.
We haven't got rid of Jim Clark, he's still here.
Michael Laverty, fantastic job. Past back markers just at the right
it's
time.
getting a little tight now. Well, you've got to expect that with a 1.3 mile lap. At least it's not the Mallory Park type chicane situation where everybody's all in your way and you can't do much about it.
Yeah, it looked like two riders lost out there, Gregorio Levia and John Reynolds.
Yeah, Gregorio Levia big time. Haslam's back with him now. We're looking at Levia on bike 36, followed by his teammate 91. Haslam followed by, that will be, yeah, it will be, Glenn Richards.
Good as Levia is, I'm not sure he can pull that gap back. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think Michael Laverty's had the pace with Levia all the way through it. We saw Michael Laverty close the gap up onto Levia. Levia had got air in front of him and wasn't able to pull away from Laverty. Laverty, for my money, has done the work.
He's looking good. But still, fantastic ride for Levia. First time here the other day. Had to learn the track while he's spitting with rain on slicks. As he has had to do it quite a number of tracks this year, but still doing a good job there in fourth. But you just know that he wants to be at the sharp end of this race.
Lap 25 of the 30. Kianari leads Michael Rutter by 7.8 seconds. A further 12 seconds back is Michael Laverty. The battle. Oh, Tommy Hill again.
He's been off twice already this week. That's not
frustration.
Good. He's got his lucky Scottish knee sliders on there, but
did you give him them?
I didn't.
I didn't think so actually. The word was on give really, wasn't it?
Give.
Still Chianari from Rutter. Laverty in 3rd place. Lavia on bike 36 4th. Haslam in 5th place. Let's take another look at this then.
Oh, Tommy Hill into the hairpin.
Yeah.
Looks like he lost the front early
Yeah.
on. It's an unusual crash.
Rob Mack's luck in the Virgin Mobile camp just does not give up, does it? It's all bad. They brought in a new Australian. Once there is a Suzuki mob hired James Hayden permanently, it meant that Rob Mack hadn't got a super sub anymore. So they brought in a 28-year-old Australian to look after things.
Daniel Stoffer.
And he did. He fell straight off. In fact, he didn't fall off.
No,
he got a bit of a tank slapper and shook his shoulder out.
He wrenched his shoulder, so he's taking no further part. But they will be testing at Croft on Tuesday, I'm told.
So welcome to Britain, Dan, and we hope your luck is a little better next time. Oh, I'll tell you what, Glenn Richards, having got past Haslam, Haslam is looking fairly menacing in his demeanour. Lap 27 of 30. Chianari and Rutter are already through. We wait for Leverty to cross the painted line. He does. What, Laverty is nice and safe in that 3rd place at the moment. Lavia has got a 1.3 deficit on Laverty.
Someone we haven't mentioned, and has actually looked like he's been struggling a little bit this weekend, is Carl Harris down in 8th. A rider that we're used to seeing battling for podiums.
He's still beaten up. He is still beaten up. That big Croft off. He's wearing a chest protector, so when he's on the tank, it stops it bashing his ribs. He took a massive
ribs. Yeah, you can tell when Carl Harris doesn't jump back straight on the bike as he did at Croft after his crash there. He's hurting.
Yeah, he is one tough cookie. He doesn't complain about anything, really. You never want to meet him in a back alley if he was in a bad mood.
He's a lovely guy. He is the original guy that would help the granny across the road. He's a bit like Keith Flint from The Prodigy. Looks quite scary, but actually big, gentle.
Yeah, but you still wouldn't want to cross him.
No, or meet him down an alley in a bad mood.
Indeed.
Michael Laverty, he's
superb. Yeah, I think so. Don't forget the Bennett's rider of the day.
I knew that was coming.
Mr. McKenzie will. He needs no reminder from me, of course, but I like to anyway.
Well, he's certainly the first contender. There's no question about that.
Chianari 10 seconds in front of Rutter now. Well, I just didn't think Chianari would be able to just annihilate Michael Rutter also, but he has.
Michael Laverty likes these Celtic circuits. Went well at Mandela and now he's going well in Scotland.
Still James Buckingham on bike 56, the best of the privateers. Marty Nutt, the second in the Superbike Cup.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Nice pass, Glenn.
So, Glenn Richards has now done both the Airwave Ducatis. Glenn Richards having a bit of a torrid time yesterday in qualifying. He grounded out the crankcases on that bike at one of the curves aren't very high here, but he still managed to deck it out and leap off the thing. But he had to ride his second bike, which had got a slightly weaker motor than his first bike for qualifying. But Richards now, bike 75, in 4th place. 2 Airwaves Ducatis breathing down his neck. We are on the last lap, of course. Chianari, a massive 11.9.
It's like Tommy Hill remounted there, isn't it? In front of Chianari.
Tommy Hill on bike number 8. Yeah, you're right. You are right. Here's the 2 Vivaldi boys. That'll be Tristan Palmer and Ben Wilson. Unless I'm... No, it's not. Scott Smart and Ben Wilson. What am I talking? Tristan Palmer's a little bit further back.
Whoa, Chianari.
Yeah, take no prisoners at the hairpin.
Even the lawyer's got an 11-second advantage.
Yeah, still bouncing out the inside. So then, Ryoichi Chianari, race 1 is going to be his. Comes to the line. That was a walk in the park. A superb day here at Knockhill. Lovely weather. Can now confirm those results, and by 12 seconds over his teammate. Chianari beats Rutter. Laverty, that is a great result from Michael Laverty, and I know that Neil Mackenzie's eyeing him up for that Bennett's Rider of the Day at the moment. Glenn Richards, that's a good ride from him as well, recovering very well. Leon Haslam and Gregorio Lavia slipping very slightly down the order towards the end of the race. John Reynolds on bike number 1, good comeback ride I think for him in 7th place. Carl Harris, beaten up as he is, 8th. Gary Mason on the other Eddie Stobart bike is in 9th place. Dean Thomas slipping eventually down to 10th. James Buckingham, best of the privateers on the Key Gary Suzuki. Scott Smart, his first first ride of the year on the Vivaldi Kawasaki in front of his teammates Tristan Palmer and Ben Wilson. So the 3 Vivaldi bikes, 12th, 13th and 14th. Tommy Hill remounted to get a point. That's what tough guys are all about.